The battery went flat, but watching me clean the workshop even in hyperspeed probably isn't the most exciting viewing. It is Monday, start of the week, 20 something. The Trip Tech video went up last night. Isn't doing super well. Well, probably isn't doing as well as I would have liked to, but that's how it goes sometimes. Got a very busy week this week. I've got a lot to do and a lot I want to talk about. I've got piles of stuff. First up, I used Fast 1950 is the model number of this range of sandpaper. This is relatively inexpensive. I bought it from the Sandpaper Man. You can get it cheaper elsewhere. I didn't know that at the time, didn't look into it. This works amazing on epoxy. I also have Mirka's Abranet, which is really quite good sandpaper. But I found it was really quite slow, even though this is a larger diameter and a more expensive disc. It was much slower than the same grit in Fast's 1950. So it makes sense, at least for me, to have a couple of different types of sandpaper, one specialising in composite materials, one for wood. Turns out, however, Fast have their own mesh-based sandpaper called Cianet, I think I call it. Very original name. And I'm really keen to get some of that. I'm going to try and contact them to see if I can do a sampler, because the CF stuff works really well. Thing one talked about. Thing two, someone commented on the Trip Tech. It'd be cool if you could see both sides of it somehow, you know, sort of rotated around. And the current hotness on YouTube and everywhere is a fidget spinner. Now obviously this is too big for a fidget spinner and I don't want to make a fidget spinner. But this could be like a desk ornament type thing with some bearings in the top and the bottom, and then you build a frame around it and this could rotate either side. So like a desk fidget spinner, or a fidget spinner for adults who don't. That title's going to go bad, so we'll see whether that works. So the last is the other project I was talking about. I bought myself a turbo plane. I've used one of these before on the Red Gum coffee table. Father-in-law has one. It's just difficult to get things back and forth with him, so it's easier if he's got his own one and I've got my own one. He did bring back my grinder though, and it is in... Well, let's just say it's not as clean as what I'd like, so I probably need to spend some time cleaning that, because this is currently the dirtiest tool in the Wood Night workshop. Grinder goes with turbo plane. And this is the other project. It's a big black rectangle. This will be a tea tray. And I want to sculpt out the top, so that's why I pre-finished the top, or partially pre-finished the top, with the black Osmo oil. Now this probably looks just like paint on camera. It feels nicer than paint, and this is just with one coat. It's food safe, it's got a really nice, you want to touch it type feel to it. I'll probably do a second coat and that should fill in some of the pores a little bit more. But I want to sculpt out a large ovalish type thing, more of a squircle, so rounded corners. And it won't be too deep, but deep enough to remove some of the mass and actually sit the teapot and teacups in, rather than gluing on some sides. On the underside I'll also sculpt here and have some legs here and here. So the tea tray is going pretty nicely. The bottom of the carving is pretty smooth. I've still been smoothing it out with a scraper. Fits my teapot just fine and a couple of cups. And sauces, I guess. However, I'm having problems with the transitions. I just can't get them all that smooth with the turbo plane now. This is mostly operator error, I guess. So I can get it sort of smooth. It doesn't really matter that much. However, the underside will need some carving also. And I'm worried that I'll have the same issue where I can't get it all that smooth. So what I'm thinking of doing is making the bottom, after I've carved it, black as well, and using a carbide burr. So this is a Kutzall, I think it's called a flame burr, it's a little one, and an air die grinder to put in sort of a hammered finish pattern in it. And if I was to buy a new teapot, I could get one of the hobnail style cast iron ones that look, well, similar to that sort of pattern carved into it. I think that could look quite nice. What do you guys think?